So young Tommy starts asking a million questions. He asks, hey, can we make jack-o'-lanterns? Can we watch movies? Can we eat popcorn? Can you read to me? Laurie's like, I don't get paid to do all that shit for you. Fucking smacks him across the head. If that was 7 or 8-year-old me, I would have been like, hey, can I read my dad's nudie magazines? Can I stay up late to watch Cheaters? I'm gonna stay up late all night, eat ice cream, and do whatever the fuck I want. Okay, that's that's too much, man. I gotta know my own limits. Hey everyone, it's your guy Jesse coming at you this time with the first review of this channel. I'm excited to finally get the film reviews going. And if you've seen my other videos, you know that at the end of each reaction, I do give a post-analysis. So kind of my first initial thoughts of the film, my first impression of it. But with these reviews, it's going to allow the film to really resonate, right? And for it to sit a little bit longer in my mind. And so then I'll be able to give my opinions of that and also, possibly include some more things that I may have missed in that post-analysis that I do at the end of each reaction. So super excited to get these going. The first film that we're gonna review is Halloween 1978, a film that I've seen countless times. I am a fan of the franchise. And so I'm looking forward to actually doing a lot of different videos for this franchise. So everything from ranking all of the different films to ranking the portrayal of Michael Myers. So those actors that don the mask, who played him best, the mask itself, ranking those, and best kills, best moments. So there is a lot to explore in this franchise. Also, thank you to the editor who's going to be making a few appearances here and there. Sorry that I couldn't get anyone better looking. This poor bastard is all I could afford. Cue the music. Stop. We gotta be careful with music, man, because God knows we got a lot of copyright issues that just hold us back. Let's get it going. By the way, dude, is there any way you can make me better looking? Like if you can remove some of the zits, maybe get rid of the bags under my eyes, possibly a more chiseled jaw or something. Anything you could do is better than this fucking ugly mug that you see here. By the way, don't include this, edit this out, please. Just give myself a radio narrator voice. The film starts in 1963, Haddonfield, Illinois. We pan on the Myers house and then we slowly make our way towards the house. And Judith Myers and her boyfriend are being watched. And then they decide to go upstairs. Great tracking shot. Just a super awesome way to start the film. And it does not cut for the longest. And we don't know who's out there watching them. And so this person just makes their way through the house slowly, and that tension is building up. And then that awesome, amazing score by John Carpenter just helps to build up that tension. That particular score makes you kind of want to look over your shoulder. It feels kind of like you're being followed, like someone is going to sneak up on you. That's what it feels like. So Judith's boyfriend, he was up there for a minute and 30 seconds. I actually timed it. Now look, I am not some Casanova with an endless amount of stamina. I've had my wins and losses, but damn, a minute and 30 seconds is something I would not wish on my worst enemy. And so this unknown figure continues and makes its way over to Judith's room. And then she screams out, Michael. So, it's been her brother Michael that we have been having this POV of, when he puts on the mask, and awesome, kind of just visual, by the way. And when he's wielding that knife, we see that POV of him. So again, just super awesome, super effective way to start the film. I counted one cut from the moment that the film actually starts, where we pan on the Myers house, all the way to that moment when he actually stabs his sister. I guess when he's kind of walking outside of the house. It was one cut, and that's when he actually puts on the mask. If you look at the moment that he puts it on, there's a sweater there, and that sweater is actually not in the same position. So go and check that out. Maybe I'm wrong. I counted one cut right there. And so Michael walks out of the house. His parents see him. They stop him. They take off the mask. And his mom, dude, she could not look more fucking uninterested. Editor, show us the clip. Zoom in on that and then pause. Look, she fucking puts her hands in her pocket and she's got like this look like, like, what has this little son of a bitch done now? tell me I'm wrong. Look, that's like the look that my mom would have when I did something stupid and I knew I was gonna get fucked up. But even so, okay, beyond that, that moment still stuck with me. The moment that his parents take off the mask and then there's just silence, right? And it zooms out. They don't know what to say. It doesn't register in their head, like what the hell are they looking at? It probably don't even recognize their own son because they've never seen kind of this moment within him, just this pale blank face and him just holding up that knife. I mean, if you look at the actors, it is a little bit goofy. Again, look beyond that. And it's just an awesome moment that really stuck with me when I was a child. We cut to Dr. Loomis and Nurse Marion driving up to the asylum, and we get a line from Loomis that conveys his feelings on what he believes Michael is.
Just try to understand what we're dealing with here. Don't underestimate it.
So he doesn't view Michael as a person. He knows that there's something else driving him. There's an evil force in the shape of a man. And as that scene continues to unfold and Michael does escape, Loomis says the evil is gone. And some people might say that sounds kind of too Shakespearean, like people don't talk that way. But after you get to really understand the character of Dr. Loomis, it makes sense for him to be that character, to kind of, in a way, talk a little bit more poetically. And he's had so much experience with Michael. And to him, it's so impactful. It's something unlike he's ever experienced. So he's gonna communicate that in a different way, probably in a far more different way than most people communicate about anything, because he really has seen and experienced evil for so long, being Michael's doctor. We're introduced to Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, and I did verify that she was 18 or above whenever this film was made. And then I immediately went to Google some images for research purposes, you guys, specifically for this review. And I came across some pictures where she was like some kind of like workout instructor. Fuck. You know what? That's not what this review is about. That's something we'll revisit in a future video. You know what? Just cut that fucking part out, dude. Don't you fucking include that in there. So we see her on her way to school and we get another awesome score, which, by the way, I read that apparently there was a producer who watched a very early cut of the film that didn't include any music and he hated it. But then Carpenter went ahead and incorporated the music, and I think he did it in like 3 or 4 days. So he incorporated the music, had that same person, that same producer watch it, and they fucking loved it. For one, John Carpenter just does an excellent job of incorporating music, and it seems like he has the perfect track for each scene. And these sequences of Jamie walking are actually elevated by the score and the empty streets, and hardly seeing anyone else walking or in sight. It feels like Michael is just somewhere watching. It gives us the feeling that she's being watched. Tommy Doyle races up to Laurie. Poor bastard meets a gruesome end in his later years. I mean, he kind of deserved it after giving us that evil dies tonight bullshit.
Evil dies tonight!
So young Tommy starts asking a million questions. He asks, hey, can we make jack-o'-lanterns? Can we watch movies? Can we eat popcorn? Can you read to me? Laurie's like, I don't get paid to do all that shit for you. Fucking smacks him across the head. If that was 7 or 8 year old me, I would have been like, hey, can I read my dad's nudie magazines? Can I stay up late to watch Cheaters? I'm gonna stay up late all night, eat ice cream, and do whatever the fuck I want. Okay, that's that's too much, man. I gotta know my own limits. No, she's actually really sweet and patient with him. We see a glimpse of her good nature and her kind heart. So it's wholesome. I like it. We see that the Myers house is run down, sort of that creepy house in the neighborhood that you just want to speed walk by. Makes me think of this one house that me and my friends used to walk by after school, except we would ding and dash that shit all the time. This neighbor was this old guy that came running at us once. I say he's old, but at that age, he's probably in his late 30s. But the kids, that fucker may as well be a year away from needing a walker. And so Laurie drops off the key at the Myers house, and we get that moment where Michael pops up and just stares at her. He's breathing heavy, salivating. I think he kind of likes what he sees. And then when Laurie is walking away, now he's outside just staring at her, and she's singing "I Wish I Had You All Alone," which is a nice touch because I think that kind of puts us in the mindset of Michael, probably what he was thinking at that moment. So nice touch there. And so I guess he becomes fixated with her. I mean, she's never talked or spoken to him, obviously. And so this obsession kind of starts to brew. Michael looks up her Facebook and Instagram and starts liking pictures from 5 years ago. Not talking from personal experience, guys. Okay, look, I'll tell you something. One time, okay. I just share everything with you. One time I was somehow on a profile. I can't remember how or why, but I must have been 19 or 20 years old. And so, okay, look, I'm scavenging through the fucking pictures, okay? Some of them are like 8, 9, 10 years old, and then I accidentally like one of them. And then my ass scrambles to Google, and I'm like, oh shit, how do I unlike a picture? And so that, and also so that they can see that I ever liked it. Sad times, man. Fuck. Again, we're watching this without the context of the sequel, so that whole like brother and sister element doesn't really come into play here. So people might be like, oh, he was fixated with her because that's her brother. Now, in this fucking film here, which was by Carpenter's, own statements, was supposed to be just like a one and done story. So that element does not exist here. So it is just a fixation. It is just an obsession. He locks in on her, and then he just targets her and can't get her off his crosshairs. So Michael follows her to school, and he somehow knows exactly which fucking window to look into with some blinds, like at that distance, and to look past the window and look blinds, and you're staring at the person that you're already fixated on. Can you imagine Michael walking around that whole damn school, and then he finally finds the window that he's been looking for? My boy is dedicated. It's kind of unsettling though, just someone standing outside staring at you, not moving one damn inch. And that's actually the moment where we see that iconic Michael Myers mask. Even though it's a little far away, that's the first moment we actually get to see it. And it's really just a Captain Kirk mask that they painted white. They made the eye holes larger and they painted the hair black. I think initially they were thinking about giving him a clown mask because that's what he had on 15 years earlier when he did kill his sister. But damn, did they make the right choice by going with that mask that we've all come to know and love. It's completely recognizable. It's a part of pop culture. There are times, you guys, in whether that's film, whether that's music or other art forms, where you truly catch lightning in a bottle. And this is one of those moments. The perfect mask for for this particular story, for this kind of film. It just couldn't have been done better. And it seems like going forward, as the franchise progresses, they just could not get that look back again until finally these most recent films. But, all to say that truly a moment of catching lightning in a bottle with that first 1978 mask. Michael doesn't talk. He doesn't reason or negotiate with you. There aren't any long villain speeches. He's just this force without a motive. No plan except to cause destruction on whatever's in his path. And I think the essence of Michael Myers is captured with this mask. We cut to Tommy getting pushed around while he's carrying a pumpkin. These kids were taking it easy on him as well, just telling him the boogeyman is gonna get him. It's kind of cringe. I guess evil bastard kids really did evolve over time. Yeah, today's kids would have been like, the boogeyman is gonna cut your head off, play soccer with that shit. And on top of that, your mother's a fucking... The little evil bastards today have really mastered the art of bullying. I hate it. I hate bullying. I've given a bully or two a taste of their own medicine in the past just to let them know that I'm not the one to try that with. So I don't condone it. Shit, I wish Tommy would have just slammed that pumpkin on one kid's head, hit the other kid in the knee. He just starts going all John Wick on them. Then just stares at the last one and yells, "Evil dies tonight." Fuck. God, that dialogue, man. It's been 3 years. 3 years since that film came out. And I like a lot of parts of it, but the dialogue is abysmal, man. We'll get to that at some point. So Michael is watching the whole time. So I guess he's watching both Laurie and Tommy, since they were both outside of his house at the same time earlier in the film. And Michael starts exhibiting some really sus behavior and starts following Tommy. Kind of feel like Chris Hansen is just gonna jump out of a bush somewhere with a camera crew. Have a sit down with Michael. And there's a moment in the film when Loomis is on his way to Haddonfield and he makes a phone call. And so he comes across an abandoned truck and he sees like a red matchbook that says, I think it said The Red Rabbit. And, initially through so many countless times that I watched the film, at first, I never really pieced it together until one of my, probably my 15th or 20th viewing of the damn film. And I realized that's the same matchbook that Nurse Marion had whenever she was lighting a cigarette in the car when they were headed to the asylum. And so then that's, when Dr. Loomis knows that he's on Michael's trail. He knows that he was just there. And so that was just something that, took me several viewings to kind of put together. And maybe some of you were like, oh shit, that's something I never like pieced together until now. But still, Dr. Loomis doesn't see that poor bastard in the grass. So I guess that's the first official kill for Michael. Well, beyond his sister, right? I'm talking about grown-up Michael. It's off screen, so we still haven't seen a kill on screen. Oh, and then we meet Laurie's friends, and that bitch Norma from Carrie is there. I wanted to smack that damn character, man. And it's so satisfying. Editor, you may have to edit this out. It's so satisfying to see her get hers in like 2 films, right? Again, like to me, she's always Norma, and here she really doesn't do anything to really warrant her being killed. But still, my hatred for Norma goes beyond Carrie, that I'm so damn glad that ultimately this bitch gets hers in this film too. Maybe there's other films that she also gets hers again. I need to watch those. So they walk home in some beautiful California weather. Green grass, green trees. Even though it's Haddonfield, Illinois in late October. So I would imagine that, there's very little to probably no leaves on the trees. The grass is getting brown. But no, beautiful sunny California weather. Which actually so I read that Robert Englund, yes, Freddy Krueger, he had a job on set. And so he had to like collect like dead leaves. And so then he was like scattering them around there in certain scenes. So we get that kind of fall look with leaves falling. So just a little trivia there in case you didn't know. Robert Englund, fucking Freddy Krueger, in a Halloween film like 6 years before Nightmare on Elm Street came out. And again, Norma, oh God. So she has some abysmal dialogue in this. Okay, look, this is another gripe that I kind of have with this film. It has some epic dialogue moments, yes, but there are some other moments where the dialogue is just, it's like hearing fucking nails on a chalkboard. Especially this moment, she just goes on a tangent about some damn books. For like 7 or 8 sentences, she just says books, 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 books. Obviously not the sharpest tool in the shed, and so the film is actually starting to set up some tropes that would become regular ones in horror. Jamie Lee Curtis, the good girl virgin, who displays those girl next door qualities. Fuck. However, though, she probably won't let you get to third base on the first date. You got to do all that long ass work. You got to meet the parents, get married, have kids, and then finally you get to seal the deal. And then there's the airhead who's more promiscuous. I mean, shit, 10 minutes into the first date, you guys already decide to head back to your car. I should shut the fuck up. I'm one to talk. Look, if I was a character in a horror film, I'd probably eat shit worse than anyone else. Like, my death would probably be on the best kills of all time. I'd probably like break character in the middle of the kill just to give the fucking villain a high five for doing such an awesome job. Let's act that out. So let's say that I'm a character in a horror film and I just got done making love to like the 4th girl in the film. So walking down like a dark hallway, and then Michael comes out of nowhere and just starts unleashing on my ass. This would probably be me in that moment because the kill is just so damn awesome. Oh, you're doing such a good job. Oh, those are some clean cuts, man. Oh, that's so stupid, bro. None of this is landing. None of this shit is landing. Editor, we may have to scrap this whole fucking video, man. Okay, so they're still walking down the street, and then Laurie sees Michael next to a damn bush. Okay, look, on paper, reading that, like I wouldn't be able to like hold back my laughter, right? Like it just says, see Michael next to Bush, half of his body exposed. So, but in the moment, look, it's an iconic scene. It's an iconic shot. So Laurie, you know, makes her way forward. She sees him. He kind of hides behind the fucking bush. I fucking can't. Okay. So he hides behind the damn bush, right? And so actually this moment gives us some awesome memes. I don't know if you guys have actually seen the memes that are online about this moment. And this actually reminds me of like one of my managers when I used to work at a restaurant hotel. And so sometimes, you know, I'd be talking to a hostess, you know, putting on that Riz, right? I was like 18, 19, 20. I worked there till like my early 20s, you know, it was all throughout college. And so we would have, you know, some waitresses and hostess. And, you know, I'd just be over there, you know, kind of just doing my thing. And then whoever I was talking to, like she and I would turn around and then we see the manager like standing, like literally that same shot, halfway exposed on a wall. And then when he saw that we looked at him, he would just like disappear the other side. Okay, I'm putting his face, like, no, someone that looks like him. This isn't the guy. But yeah, he was like a dude in his 50s. You know, he loved talking to all these young girls as much as he could. But you know, whenever I did or some of the other young guys that worked there, he would just watch us, dude. Oh, Sergio, you bastard. Okay, look, let's get back on track here. So that's a moment that is simple but effective, right? I mean, it's in broad daylight. You really don't feel the danger because you're with someone else. There's houses around. You scream out, people will probably come out. But still, you know, it's sort of like he is closing the gap between him and Laurie. And he's getting closer and closer and becoming more bold and basically just shortening the distance between them. And we actually see that again later on whenever she does get home and she's upstairs and somehow Michael knows again exactly which fucking window to look at. So she stares out and he's right there, you know, just hiding between all those sheets, that laundry. And one thing though is she holds her stare. So he's there one moment and then like in a split second he's gone. So I don't know if like maybe that was some paranoia going on in her mind. When I saw that as a kid, like in my mind I'm like, this fucker's literally a ghost, man. Like that's the way I looked at it. That's the effect it had on me. I was like, he was literally there and then a split second he's gone. So to me he's just supernatural. And so, but again, it could have been Laurie's like, you know, fear starting to build up and some of that paranoia kind of starting to build up on her mind. Nonetheless, though, so she, after that, she decides to lay down and take a fucking nap. Like, hell no, dude. If that was me, no, fuck no. Like, I'm calling the homeboys, I'm calling the crew up. We're getting some firepower and we're getting that son of a bitch. And so at that moment, Michael, I guess he's probably in the backyard holding onto that laundry, sniffing God knows what. And, you know, Laurie is just enjoying her nap. And then we go to a scene, and I'm not sure if this is the exact scene right after that, but Laurie goes on a drive with Annie. Dude, I don't know how, but as many times as I watched this film, but it wasn't until like I was an adult that I saw right when Michael is actually following them. Dude, I don't know if I blinked every damn time or if something always happened while I'm watching this film that distracted me. But I don't remember seeing that moment until I was an adult. It didn't register, I guess, with me that Michael was the one that pulled up. Again, I might have just always blinked or gotten distracted at that exact moment. And so to me, just a super, super awesome scene. I was probably more enthralled by it because I did only like notice it and it really registered later on. And so to me it was like, holy crap, it's like I'm watching like something entirely new that was always there existing, but I just never noticed it. And so he's following them, and of course Fear the Reaper is playing on the radio. And you know damn well John Carpenter made that choice. Excellent fucking choice. A scene that kind of gets lost in the bundle of all of these other iconic moments and shots and scenes. But to me, it's something that I guess it means a little bit more just because It's one that I saw later on, and yeah, it just enthralled me. You know, just seeing something that I, for fucking dumbass reasons, just never noticed. Oh, and now we get some chef's kiss dialogue. Beautifully delivered by Donald Pleasance, one of the coolest bald sons of bitches to ever walk this earth. I mean, the man served in World War II. His plane was shot over in France. He was in a German fucking POW camp, dude. And I guess apparently he produced and set up plays there to just entertain his fellow prisoners that he was there with. Dude, if that was it, if that was his life story and he never went on to become an actor or something, what a fucking badass legacy to leave behind if that was it for him. I'm sad to say also and ashamed that really this is the only work that I've seen of Donald Pleasance. Fuck me, man. Like, I gotta see more of his work. So something I'm gonna do. Plus, he's got a British accent, man. Instant credibility. King John, Jack the Ripper, that other serial killer from the 1980s, stand-up guy. Alright. Alright, I'm just pulling shit out of my ass now, guys. Okay, let's get back on track. So we get another awesome moment from Donald Pleasance when he's telling Sheriff Brackett about Michael. And then we get that line, dude, we get that moment. Play the damn moment. I can't do it justice if I just say it.
The blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
And that moment stuck with me as a kid. Dude, so he's describing, right, what it was to be Michael's doctor. And he's describing it, and at times he's kind of looking at Sheriff Brackett. But when he gets to that moment, the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes, I mean, he locked in on Sheriff Brackett. Oh, yes. Yeah, badass, dude. Badass. Donald, rest in peace, man. No. No. I know you're up there, Donald. You're up there. You made it up there, man. I will see you one day. I will shake your hand. I will buy you a fucking beer when I get up there with you. Oh, we then get a haunting shot of Michael's silhouette outside of the house as Tommy looks outside. Laurie and Annie are on the phone, and then Tommy tells Laurie that the boogeyman is outside. There's nothing there when Laurie takes a look, so she yells at Tommy to stop being a little bitch. Look, on paper, there's nothing overly groundbreaking about this. What really elevates this film are moments like that, though. Michael's silhouette just staring at you. Amazing shots and visuals, the soundtrack, this evil presence just infiltrating this town. And it's told through fantastic direction by John Carpenter, because what do we really have here? We have a couple of teenagers, we have an escaped mental patient, we have a doctor that's tracking this mental patient. Teenagers are killed, but the part of the story that is truly captivating though is this force that is Michael. The idea of him being supernatural, especially after he gets up at the end after being shot. That part, that essence of Michael, yes, that is on paper, but everything else is flawless direction, in my opinion, from John Carpenter. And we also get early glimpses of the talented Jamie Lee Curtis. Sure, there was some highs and lows here that I could point to, and if I really wanted to nitpick, but overall, we can look at her and say there is some talent there. So anyways, we cut back to bad acting from Annie, and she spills something on herself, and then she starts undressing. I mean, logical, I got nothing against it, and Michael has the best seat in the house. And then Michael's dumbass ruins the show for us by dropping that damn plant. And then, that pale, simple-minded son of a bitch commits one of the worst crimes possible. He kills the family dog. I root for Michael 99% of the time, but that I cannot forgive. Shit, earlier in the film, he kills another dog, and Dr. Loomis basically implies that he was gonna eat it. Okay, so Michael can break into a store and steal a fucking mask and some rope, but he can't break into a 7-Eleven to steal some nachos and take some of those taquitos. Oh, the Monterey chicken ones. If Michael had some of those, it would probably cure him. He fucking walks out with a Slurpee and cigarettes. We get a sweet scene between Laurie and Tommy, and she's comforting him, letting him know that the boogeyman is not gonna hurt him because she's there to protect him and she's not gonna let anything happen to him. So, cute scene there. I wish I had a babysitter like Laurie Strode. Never mind. Never mind. Damn, I almost forgot about Lindsay. So she could give a rat's about anything that's going on. I mean, you got Annie making a shitload of noise in the other room, but she's just busy watching her movie. She then goes to open the door for Annie, who locked herself up in the laundry room. And yeah, we see Annie in a compromising position. in the laundry room, essentially stuck. Yeah, John Carpenter was ahead of his time, and he knew the future. And right now, probably a lot of people have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. But there's probably a few well-researched dudes in here that know what I'm talking about. That's moving on. That's all I'll leave that at. We then get this awesome moment with Michael right there behind Annie, and the door's open. There's literally no barrier in between them. He could pounce on her right there if he wanted, but he just watches. He continues to watch, and that's also kind of like John Carpenter, I guess, teasing us. We think we're going to get kind of our first on-screen kill, but he makes us wait just a little bit longer. I think of a very effective scene. Maybe I'm overblowing it. I don't know. You guys tell me. But to me, just an awesome scene that right there, no door, no barrier. Michael's right there and still just waits. So Annie drops off Lindsay with Laurie, gets into her car. The glass is all fogged up. And my boy Michael has some rancid hot breath. And we get our first on-screen kill. It's okay. We get a better one later on. I mean, ultimately, right, there really is just 4 kills in this entire film. And one of them was off screen. So it's not like we had a lot of a lot of different kills to choose from of what would be the best or our favorite of it. But we get a better one later on. What we do get, however, is a beautiful shot of Michael carrying Annie's body around the front of the house and then into the front door. And I think Tommy saw this when he looked out again. So just beautiful visual. Again, all we see is the silhouette just slowly making its way, carrying Annie. Just one of those shots. Again, nothing super like crazy or groundbreaking, but the combination of those shots just truly elevate this film. And then more Loomis delivering some god tier lines, and so he's just doing his best to try to keep the sheriff on guard for the night. And then the sheriff's response was, you know, if you're right about this, then damn you for letting him go. So like a nice little back and forth between them. I like that moment. Oh crap. And then we get Norma. I'm not looking up her name, guys. To me, that bitch is Norma. So she arrives at Lindsay's house with some nerd. The dude has glasses on, so that automatically makes him a nerd. That's my logic. And he has a line that would definitely set off Chris Hansen's spidey sense.
Okay, first I rip your clothes off, then you rip my clothes off, then we rip Lindsay's clothes off.
Yeah, no further comment on that. So they start committing movie sins by having premarital sex, a big no-no in the horror genre. And you know, I don't know if at 1978, if that was really a trope, but if it wasn't, then this was a film or one of the films that really helped pioneer it, right? Then that leads to the best kill in the movie for me. We got Chris Hansen jumps out of the closet and Michael jumps out of the closet, stabs the fuck out of, well, lifts him up first, right? And again, just another moment that we see that Michael has like superhuman strength, man. And you know, to me as a kid, what I see is just like a monster. He's not supposed to be able to do this. I mean, the dude is basically like almost teleporting, and now he's lifting like a dude that's like kind of his size, way up above him, and then, you know, just basically one stab motion, boom, and then the guy's right there, just hanging on the door. And we get, I guess, what becomes a staple in the Halloween franchise. So when Michael kills some of his victims, he does kind of prop him up. So it's kind of like almost like an art piece for him, because when he killed that dude, I think his name was Bob, he's kind of like leaning his head side to side. So he's kind of like, you know, just evaluating, almost idolizing his kill and seeing it from different angles. And, you know, just something that we see, you know, in different parts throughout the franchise, and we actually see a little later on with the next kill. So great moment, creepy, unsettling, and I think it probably at the time it raised questions about what he was doing when he was really kind of tilting his head. So awesome moment there. And so Michael actually follows this up by giving us some performance art. So he throws on a white blanket, it's got 2 holes in it, and he throws on Bob's glasses over him. He's kind of a fucking troll, to be honest, fucking Michael. And then Norma does give her best performance of the film. Honestly, I think that might have been the first pair of boobs that I saw like ever. And so, you know what then? Maybe I feel a little bit differently about Norma. I think she had some kind of large influence in my life and my development at such a young age. Literally, guys, I think that might have been the first pair of boobs that I saw like ever on screen. My dad's nudie magazine. I mean, this must have been it. Sorry, Dad. Oh, dude, and then when Norma turns her back on Michael to call Laurie, we get that awesome score. Oh, it's called the Shape Stocks. Dare I say, my favorite score of the entire franchise. It just really fucking works for me. The perfect score while being chased. I've actually thrown that damn track on whenever I'm running, whenever I'm jogging, and it just gets my heart pumping some more. You know, it's really fast. It hits really well. And honestly, yeah, it very well might be my favorite score of the entire franchise. And Norma goes out about damn time, and then we get some more of that heavy breathing from Michael, and he picks up the phone and he's kind of just listening to Laurie. We then get a moment that actually pissed me off. I'm not just gonna, you know, I love the film, but I'm not just gonna praise it as well. I'm gonna call out the flaws. So Dr. Loomis has been hanging out outside of the Myers house for God knows how many hours. And then he looks down the street and he sees the company car that Michael stole, right? Whenever they were driving to the asylum. So, look, man, back in the day, what else do you have to do except really stand there, watch, and like, I mean, just kind of look at your surroundings. It's not like Dr. Loomis had a fucking iPhone and was just Googling pictures of Farrah Fawcett or something. So it just gets to me that whole time, all he had to do was kind of look 50 yards in one direction and then see the car there. And so Laurie heads over to Lindsay's house, and she must have some fucking night vision, man, because she did not turn on a damn light. Oh, it's just one of those things that irritates you in horror films, right? And look, another criticism for me, right? Honestly, there were different times in the film where the lighting was truly fucking horrendous. And some of you might say, oh, but Jesse, that kind of adds to the film. It adds to the creep factor. Oh, it scares you more. It frightens you more. Okay, it does in samples. Okay, but here there was some like full-on long sequences where my dumbass is just kind of squinting my eyes, doing my best to try and see something. For me, I would have preferred a little bit more lighting in some of these different scenes in the third act. But that's just me. So again, we see that Michael has propped up Annie and then placed his sister's tombstone right there at the head of the bed with a jack-o'-lantern also on with a candle lit. And so at this point, Michael's just perfecting his artistic craft. The son of a bitch is probably like sitting next to a fireplace, legs crossed, fucking red robe, cigarette, listening to some jazz music. And so again, right, we get what becomes a regular staple in the Halloween franchise. And some might not consider that scary by today's standards, but dude, I walk into my house and I see that, I'm gonna need a fresh pair of boxers. Laurie starts to find the rest of her friends, and then she decides to lean up against a wall and just start crying. Like, I get it, she's in shock. It might be difficult for her to process what's going on, but I put myself in that position. I would have wily coyoted my ass through one of the many walls in that damn house. Jesse would have became Usain Bolt. I would have dashed out of that bitch so fast and not look back. But for the movie's sake, look, I'll leave my own damn words on that one, because it does then give us this gorgeous, beautiful, mouth-watering, tingly feeling moment when we see, you know, just at the side of Laurie, there's like a, you know, I guess some room or some shit, right? Or a closet, hallway closet. But we see Michael slowly appear. We see that white mask. And then plot armor takes effect. And so Michael decides to just stab Laurie in the arm. And so that scratches her. And then she falls down the steps. And then again, we get that awesome score as Michael is kind of just standing at the top of the stairs, and then he makes his way down and the pursuit begins. And one thing I haven't really given enough credit to is Nick Castle, man. So he walks down those damn steps like only he could. He really brought that character to life. He gave him certain stances, certain body motions, the way that he walks, you know, again, that tilt with the head, which actually probably that, I think that might have been John Carpenter or someone else that told him to tilt his head like that. But still, he brought a lot to that character, and actually became the standard, because a lot, you know, going forward after the sequels, a lot of people just kind of kept comparing those to what they saw in 1978 from Nick Castle. So props to him for that, for setting the standard. And at some point, I will make a ranking of the best portrayals of Michael Myers. I think it's safe. He's a fan favorite. He is gonna be way up high on my list for sure. Laurie manages to get outside and she's screaming bloody murder. I guess they live in the murder capital of the world. She goes to the next door neighbor's house, bangs on the damn door, is screaming for help. The neighbor like stares outside, turns the light on, stares outside, and then closes the fucking blinds and turns the light off. Dude, if that was me and I made it out of this, I would go back to that neighbor's house and beat the shit out of them, dude. Laurie decides to run towards Tommy's house, and Michael is starting to kind of make his way now, right? And again, that score continues, and he's just walking. No running, just slowly closing the distance between him and her. I've thought about this scenario before too, so I guess I like to think that I'd be okay surviving a horror movie. Probably not, maybe in the first 5 minutes on the first kill. But what I would do is I would just go up to a car, and I'd start just walking around the car. So if he comes this way, I'm walking, the opposite direction, and I'm just maintaining the same pace, because then we're just walking and walking, around that damn thing until morning comes, I guess. And then you guys might say, oh, what if he hops on the car? Okay, then he hops on the car. I walk to the next damn car and do the same damn thing. Yeah, I'm not going to corner myself up against a door or up against some corner or something, or a fence. Like, I'm thinking of different ways to make his ass work to get me, pretty much. And then that little motherfucker Tommy just waddles his ass over to the front door like a damn penguin, just taking his sweet time. Laurie barely makes it in. And it makes no difference, because within a few seconds, Michael cuts off the phone line and he finds another way in. But I guess it could be something to where Michael probably cut the phone lines at some point whenever Laurie had made her way over to Lindsay's house, because Laurie was kind of in there for a while, right, searching around. So maybe during that time frame, Michael had cut the power lines in the other house. Possibility, I don't know. But if he did cut the power lines that fast and found a way in just that amount of time, then shit, that boy is efficient. Michael, if you need a job, I do need another editor. I think this poor fucking sap, ugly son of a bitch is not gonna work out. So no questions asked, you're hired. Actually, no. You know what? No, offer rescinded. Because in the next moment, when you have Laurie dead to rights, and you go to stab her, you miss her, and you hit the damn couch instead, dude. And then she has like a knitting needle and gets him right in the neck. That still makes me wince, by the way. I don't know, just something about how thin like a knitting needle is, and it coming right into your neck. And so then Michael is down for the count, just for a little while though. Laurie thinks it's safe. She goes upstairs with the kids. But no, some pussy-ass knitting needle is not going to take out Michael. So then he comes after her and the kids. And again, yes, the shape stocks. That beautiful score comes back. And we get another iconic moment with that closet scene. And let me tell you, dude, I grew up poor. So when we moved to different apartments, we always had like those flimsy, paper-thin fucking sliding closet doors, which I knocked down when I was a kid. And so Michael is just gonna steamroll through that. He's gonna just flick it and that thing's gonna fall apart. So Michael starts shaking the damn thing. It should have fallen over by now. Laurie, though, is very resourceful because she kind of analyzes the situation. It's kind of like she's really getting her senses in order. Analyzes the situation, realizes she has nothing there except a coat hanger, which she goes ahead and brings it to a point and then stabs him in the eye with it. So quick thinking by her, and then grabs his knife and then jams it into his chest. And then again, he's down for the count. A moment right there where we see her fight back and, really just finding anything she can to defend herself. There are other movie characters that kind of just sit there and they're like, oh no, please don't, and they just get killed off. But no, Laurie, she finds whatever she needs to attack and to survive and to protect herself. Fuck, I have to eat my own words though, because in the very next moment, she sends the kids off to go get help. Yet she stays in the damn house. I mean, this dude just took a needle to the damn neck and just kept coming after you. And so then we get that, iconic reviving moment from Michael, right? Where he just kind of rises up. Probably not unique to this. It's not like this film introduced that, because I would assume that something like that probably originated from like either some kind of old vampire film or maybe something to do with like Frankenstein or something like that, right? Kind of just getting up. But still just awesome that they would have him do that and say, look, dude, you've disappeared in certain moments. You're strong as fuck. You're reviving yourself. They're really throwing it at us to kind of question, is this dude supernatural or not? And he doesn't get up like a fucking old bastard like me. Look, I get up out of bed, my back is cracking, my neck hurts, my legs are numb, I'm incoherent. But no, he gets up, boom, just automatically like that. Awesome, awesome moment. And so Michael starts to choke out Laurie. He starts to choke her out, and then she removes his mask, so we get a glimpse of Michael's face, which that wasn't Nick Castle. Nick Castle plays Michael in the majority of the film, but a couple of other people actually put on the mask in a few sequences here and there. This guy, I believe, was Tony Moran. So I guess they felt that he had a more innocent, even a more good-looking face. Good call, because if you look up Nick Castle and that kind of goofy hair that he had back then, yeah, good call with making Tony Moran kind of the early face, the look to Michael whenever we do see his face for that split-second moment. And don't worry, Nick, you're always gonna have a home with the rest of us ugly sons of bitches. And Loomis finally shows up, shoots Michael 5 times in the chest. Michael falls off the second floor onto the ground, supposedly dead again, right? And at this point, Laurie, she's broken down physically, mentally. Here's this guy that she's, supposedly basically taken out a couple of times, and he keeps coming after her. She has that awesome line, that question to Loomis. She says, was that the boogeyman? And he says, as a matter of fact, it was. Loomis goes back to look for, Michael that should be laid out right there, and he's gone. Dude, so I wonder, on paper, what was that exact, maybe I can look up the script, but what was that exact line? Loomis looks over and Michael is gone. Is that it? And again, we get the iconic Halloween theme, so we get that playing again. Then all we see is Michael has made his way back to the house, right? We don't see him, but we hear him. We hear his breathing, and we see these different shots of different areas of the house. So where exactly is he? Is he in the kitchen? Is he in a room? Is he in the living room? Where in the house is he? And at this point, we've seen him take a lot of damage. So is he limping, towards the house? Is he just walking, up normal, straight up like it didn't happen? Which we get an awesome flashback scene in Halloween Kills. And yes, the fucker was, it didn't faze him. Awesome, awesome ending. And, had they never made another Halloween film after that, God, what a way to end it. It was inevitable, though, no matter what. Even if they somehow didn't make a sequel to that, in the 80s, it would have happened in the 90s, it would have happened in the 2000s, the 2010s. No matter what, there was going to be some kind of sequel, some kind of franchise revolving this, especially after the significant success that the film had. I think the budget for it was $300,000 or something like that. And dude, it probably got back well over $100 million for sure. So a very successful film that unquestionably was going to get several sequels following up. So guys, this was so much fun. It feels so awesome to knock out my first review, the first of many, and I'm going to continue to do that, as well as continue the reactions, rankings, different kinds of videos, skits, just different content for you guys. I'm also working on the Patreon, which I'm going to launch at some point in November. And please give me your feedback. Let me know if there's other films that you'd like me to review. And I do have a list that I'm kind of building out on that. So that may be something that I add to the list. But please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the like button, hit the notification bell. And I will see you guys in the next review.